Macklin Celebrini has a clutch factor, and there's no denying it.
You're Locked On Sharks, your daily podcast on the San Jose Sharks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, welcome to Locked On Sharks, the premier hockey podcast covering your favorite team in the Bay Area. My name is JD Young, caretaker at the Reef, also the co-host of Locked On NHL. I want to thank you for making Locked On Sharks your first listen, proudly a part of the Locked On Network, the number one sports podcast network out there. We cover your team every day. And if you want to be an everydayer, all you have to do is just follow along wherever you get podcasts. And of course, you can watch on YouTube as well. And Macklin Celebrini, pretty good at hockey. I'm bold hot take, scorching hot take. Macklin Celebrini is pretty good at hockey. Celebrini carries the Sharks offense tonight with his hat trick. The Sharks win 3-2 in overtime against the Utah Mammoth. We're going to talk about Celebrini, how he was just we're running out of words to describe how great he is. Talk about how the Sharks kind of got away with one here, and then dig into the numbers of the game and look at which players stood out, which players maybe not their best games. So before we get to all that, do want to let you guys know that today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com and win $300 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. We have to start with Macklin Celebrini because again, sources tell me Macklin Celebrini is very good. Hat trick tonight for his third career hat trick, first one at home, second of the season. Just love how Connor Bedard gets a hat trick tonight, and Macklin Celebrini's like, "Yep, let's do this, man." And Celebrini gets one with the game-winning goal in overtime on the power play as the Sharks overcomes a stumbly third period. But Celebrini delivers big time as he's one to do it. I think that is the thing that I keep coming back to with Celebrini is watching him in these high pressure moments, right? These clutch moments, and in just this year alone, you think of all the times where he has risen up when the Sharks needed him most, right? When the Sharks needed someone to step up and needed him most, who is the guy doing it, right? And it's Macklin Celebrini. You think back to the Wild game in overtime where they spend 3.5 minutes stuck in their own zone. Eklund makes the desperate change, right? And Celebrini comes on, steals the puck, and goes and finishes that game for a win. You think of the Rangers game, right, where he wins a board battle along in overtime along the, and gets it over to Will Smith, who finishes it. You think about, the play to Colin Graff, where he's late into a shift. He makes one more play, gets it to Colin Graff, who finishes off. Tonight, the Sharks get a power play. A horrible decision, just boneheaded decision by the Utah Mammoth. That is part of, when you have so many young players, and we've seen it with the Sharks, right? Some of these just mental lapses. And that should have been an absolute disaster right there for the Sharks. And we'll talk about that a little bit here in a second, but should have been an absolute disaster for the Sharks there. And Sharks get a power play out of that. Rosowski goes with the 4 forwards, and Macklin Celebrini finishes the thing as he is in that shot, just absolute ridiculous. Like, he couldn't have walked it up and put it in the net in a better spot. Just an absolute beautiful snipe from Celebrini. And that's the thing, as any longtime sports fan, right? They're either you're rooting for or you're rooting against players, right? And long way to go for this, but watching Tom Brady, and again, Macklin Celebrini is nowhere near Tom Brady, but watching Tom Brady, whenever the Patriots needed a big drive or a big play, right? You just knew he was going to deliver. Watching Steph Curry, right? Whenever the Warriors need a big play, they need a bucket, they need that dagger play, he's going to deliver. And you're getting that sense with Celebrini, right? It's just you feel if he gets an opportunity, he's going to deliver for you. And I like that clutch factor is huge. And the fact that he's showing it already at the age of 19, just the sky is the limit for this kid. Like, running out of ways to talk about just how great and that we have it with Macklin Celebrini, right? Where you have your franchise guy, you have your guy where you feel like with this guy, no matter, as long as this guy is healthy and on the ice, we still have a chance, right? I don't care the circumstances. When Celebrini's out there, you feel like not only do you have a chance, but he's going to somehow pull it off. And he did it again tonight, right? Gets the 2 goals early. You're kind of waiting for the hat trick. The Sharks go into, just kind of park the bus shell, and try to hang it, just grind out this win. And then, right, he gets that little crack with the power play, and the Sharks able to put this game away. So amazing night for him, right? 30 points in 20 games. Just 30 points in 20 games. That is, again, he's 19. What he is doing offensively, like, this is not normal, guys. Like, I do not take for granted what Macklin Celebrini is doing, because he's a special player, right? He is a change the skyline of San Jose special player, because of just what he means, not only to this team, to this franchise, to the city, to the whole area, of just how special of a player. And we're seeing it now, in these, these growing games of just Celebrini doing special things that just not many other people in NHL history or in the league or just whatever. Like, there's not like, who would you trade Macklin Celebrini for? Because I don't know if I would trade anybody for Macklin Celebrini at this point, right? Like, you are getting a guy who is just starting his journey right now. Like, I don't think you would trade. Would you trade Connor McDavid for Macklin Celebrini straight up? Because I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah, he's a special player doing special things. Before we kind of get into how the Sharks kind of got away with one here, I do want to shout out Askarov, and I know he gave up that second Paterka goal is definitely a save he wants back, right? But he was rock solid tonight, with the exception of that one play right there. The first Paterka goal, right? He gets Mukwa Dolan is just doesn't get back deep enough, and he lets Paterka get by him. And like, Paterka is a great player. But Askarov tonight was outstanding, with the exception of that one play. And you think back over the last month, right? That's the one soft goal he's basically given up since the Kings game. So like, he kept the Sharks in this game where, again, they kind of went through lulls and they were, a little bit in and out of it at times. And, Utah's second night of a back-to-back, like they had a crushing loss last night. They have a crushing loss tonight. It would have been nice for the Sharks to kind of like put this game away early, and then kind of work towards Askarov getting his shutout, because I felt like he was gonna get it tonight, but things kind of got a little squirrely for the Sharks here. But don't lose. Like, yes, Celebrini was awesome tonight. Will Smith was great. Like we'll talk about, the rest of the guys here in a minute, but don't lose in tonight just how good Askarov was. Like he was outstanding tonight again, with the exception of that one soft goal. And goalies are going to give up those soft goals occasionally, right? Now that's part of the maturation process for Askarov, but he was great tonight. He kept the Sharks in this game. And it's good to see, right, for a team that Askarov has been kind of carrying this team over the last couple of weeks and winning games for them. Is good to see that tonight they had his back when he led in a soft one and they were able to get this win. So because the Sharks team, right, they're the Askarov and Celebrini are going to kicking and screaming, dragging this team to more wins than they expected. And tonight was the perfect example of that, as Askarov kept the Sharks in it and Celebrini did all the scoring. So we're going to look at, some of the errors from this game, some of the things that the Sharks definitely need to clean up. So we'll kind of discuss that here and where things could have gone wrong. But again, Sharks got a big win tonight to kind of right the ship. So we'll break that down here in just 1 second. Let's be real, making excuses doesn't solve anything. We've heard them all before. It's just stress. I'm tired, or it happens to everyone sometimes. When it comes to performance, sometimes your body just needs a little extra support. That's where Rougiette comes in. Rougiette.com offers fast-acting doctor-prescribed treatments for ED designed to help you stop making excuses and start making moves. Rougiette makes getting started easy. You just connect with a board-certified doctor, 100% online. There's no awkward waiting rooms, no in-person appointments. The process is fast, simple, and private. It's all handled by real doctors. And if prescribed, your treatment will ship discreetly to your door. It's all about confidence, connections, and getting back to moments that matter. So visit Rougiette, RUGIET.com/LockedOnNHL to get 15% off your first order. That's RUGIET.com/LockedOnNHL. And don't forget to use our promo code LockedOnNHL so that way they know that we sent you. Rougiette, stop making excuses and start making moves. Also, really excited to tell you about my favorite pair of jeanswear, Doer. I've been living in their performance denim straight jeans, and honestly, they completely changed the game for me. Right now, it's getting colder. You got to break out the jeans. Doer is the way to go. One, they look super great, which is very important. Two, they're really comfy. They have 5 times the stretch of traditional denim. They feel stretchy without looking stretchy. They combine classic jeanswear style with the kind of comfort and performance you get from athletic wear, the best of both worlds. And don't take my word for it. Go check out a pair for yourself. Doer opened up a store at Hayes Valley so you can feel the difference firsthand. Go check them out on 567 Hayes Street. Mention our promo code LOCKEDONSF in store. You'll get 15% off order, or go online at shopdoer.com/LockedOnSF for 15% off. That's shopdoer.com/LockedOnSF. All right, before we continue, do of course want to thank you for making Locked On Sharks your first listen. Again, proudly a part of the Locked On Network, the #1 sports podcast network out there. If you haven't, perfect time to subscribe, as we'll have reactions to Sharks games. We'll get you guys ready. We have more interviews coming up. We just had some CUDA coverage as of yesterday, and then tomorrow we'll be kind of looking at where the Sharks were at 20 games into the season. So make sure you guys are following along wherever you get podcasts. And of course, you can watch on YouTube as well. So as great as this win is, right, this is one of those kind of, I think, for Ryan Warsofsky, learning lesson type of games for San Jose, right? And as this team continues its maturation process and learning how to close out games, I think this is a great example of a game where, yes, you got the win, which is very important, but there's a lot of things where you can kind of go back and be like, we could have done X, Y, and Z better tonight. So, and that is, as this team starts to win more, we want, and as this team hopefully starts to climb out of this rebuild here, we're going to have to be a little bit more critical about like, how the team played, especially as expectations start to rise and, winning in the margins and all that stuff. So again, like this is a great win. Like you should feel really proud. Like it should be really exciting, especially with Celebrini. But these things, there's going to be things that the Sharks need to clean up as they continue to play these competitive games and hopefully play competitive hockey into January and February. And so I think tonight, the one of the big things I really think this team needs to focus on is not taking the foot off the gas, right? You scored 2 goals. You had the place rocking 6 minutes into the game. And credit to Utah for finding their game, early on, and, kind of midway through that first period and finding their game and getting themselves back into it. But you would like to see San Jose go for that kill, right? Especially against a team that is on the second night of a back-to-back, coming off a crushing loss where you kind of like the Sharks in this game, right? Utah had a lead very late. I think it was like 5 seconds left. They had a lead, couldn't hold it, and then they lose in overtime. Would have been nice for San Jose to come out and kind of put the stamp on this game, right? And go up, you go up 2-0, you get to the first intermission, and come out in that second period and kind of treat the game like it's 0-0 and really try to get that next goal, right? And put it at 3-0 and make a team that's on the second night of a back-to-back work to really, kind of put that seed of doubt in them and just be like, guys, it's not our night. And then you can kind of, maybe push it to 4 or just see how Utah responds to that and see if they just kind of throw their hands up and just be like, it's not our night. And then you can kind of park the bus and, try to walk out of there with a much easier win than what you got tonight. So that is a big part of the maturation process for the Sharks team, is not letting your foot off the gas. And especially in this NHL, right? We see teams, blow 2 goal. I mean, you've watched the Sharks team blow 2 goal leads constantly. You think like the Colorado Avalanche had a 5 goal lead against the Devils at one point this year, and they ended up blowing that. I mean, they came back and won it, but still, like, no lead is safe in today's NHL. So that is going to be a big part of this team's maturation process, is looking for that next goal and trying to put a team away early on, especially when these types of circumstances. 2, I think the Sharks got away with some poor play in their own end. And it wasn't like defensive play, but it was more of trying to break the puck out. And they got away with some tonight. There was a couple from Letty, a couple from Oral. Like there was a couple from everybody. Mook Madulin as well. Sam Dickinson in overtime. Like Sam Dickinson almost blew this game here, right? And we saw with Dickinson out there with Will Smith and Macklin Celebrini, right? Dickinson trying to make a pass to Celebrini. Celebrini doesn't realize it. Utah jumps on that puck, and if it wasn't for the too many men penalty, right, it is a Dickinson is probably going to be flat-footed there, and it's going to be up to Askarov to make a massive save in that position. So there's just a couple of just they got to work on cleaning up that breakout pass from players there, and especially when you go against a high octane offensive team like the Mammoth and some of the teams that the Sharks are going to be facing here soon. You got to be cleaner in that and not you work so hard to get the puck out, puck back, and there's nothing worse than just that turnover at the blue line or turnover right at the beginning of the neutral zone, and then the other team is just tacking again, and you got to spend the next 45 seconds trying to get the puck back. Like it's this team is not talented enough to overcome those sort of defensive miscues. And again, much better tonight defensively, with the exception, I would say, of the Madulin play, right? Where again, we talked about Madulin needs to read that play a little bit better than what he did. And especially with a guy like JJ Paterka, and you're up 2-0. like you kind of you have to be the last man back there, and you can't let him walk into the zone like that. So, but you're seeing this team, I think, play much better structurally defensively, as the team is kind of gelling and stuff. But you can't expect to make some of the mistakes that they made tonight and get away with it all the time. So, but again, like overall, you see the direction that this team is heading, and you see them improving on a lot of things. Like you're not going to improve on everything all at once. So they should be extremely happy with this win. But as good teams, and we're hoping the Sharks team becomes a good team, is you got to really harp on the things that went wrong and trying to lock those down and fix those, because if not, it kind of feels like the dam's going to burst, right? You fix one thing and then all of a sudden something else springs up over here and you fix that and something. So it's important for San Jose to really try to kind of fix some of these issues here, especially that transition game and kickstarting that transition game. Because when you do get Celebrini and Smith and Wennberg and Graf and Eklund and some of these guys out on the transition, that's when this team is at its best. So if you can really fix those areas and get you could really kind of see the offense start popping here again. So we're going to dig into the numbers of this game, look at how all the players did. Some positive Zach Ostapchuk stuff, because I think Ostapchuk quietly had one of his best games in the NHL, or at least in San Jose. So we're gonna talk about all the lines, all the players here in just 1 second. The NBA is back, and there's no better place to get in on the action than FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. So even if you miss the start of the game or just want to ride the hot hand, Steph Curry doing Steph Curry things, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who's going to score next to fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. Keeps every game exciting, especially when your team's making that late push. And right now, FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. Head to FanDuel.com to sign up today and play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. All right, before we finish up, do of course want to thank you for making Locked On Sharks your first listen. For your second listen, check out the all-new Locked On NHL Game Night. Every game, every night until a Stanley Cup champion is crowned. You get local analysis on a national scale. So find NHL Game Night on Locked On NHL on YouTube, wherever you listen to podcasts. All right, so this game was like as much as it kind of felt like Utah was controlling this game, I think it was a much closer game, especially through the first two periods. And then Utah, right, was down 2 goals trying to push back and get the tying goals late. But, like this, it could have been one of those where you put this team away. Anyway, 48 minutes of 5-on-5, 53-34 shot attempts in favor of the Mammoth, basically 61-39 Corsi 4. Actual shots, though, at 5-on-5 was 23-17 favor of the Mammoth, 25-15 scoring chances, of course, in favor of the Mammoth, 11-6 high danger chances at 5-on-5 in favor of the Mammoth, but 1.88 to 1.43 expected goals for in favor of the Mammoth. And through the first two periods, very close. Like the way these two teams were playing, it was a very even game. Third period, though, the Sharks tried to kind of park the bus, hope to grind one out here, and just weren't able to. 23-7 shot attempts at 16 minutes of 5-on-5. 12-3 actual shots, 8-3 high danger chance or scoring chances. And I think those are going to be those moments where you want to really, again, put a team away there, right? So you're not having to just scramble for an entire third period. So, as for the lines, for the Sharks tonight. So no changes with the lines. Toffoli, Dellandrea, and Gaudette led the way with time on ice, 10:55, 7-11 shot attempts, 3-3 actual shots. 0.15 to 0.26 expected goals for, 2-8 scoring chances, 1-2 high danger chances. So with this line, like I think like Toffoli, to me at least, does not look 100% healthy right now. Dellandrea was good on the power play, the penalty kill, and I thought Gaudette had a couple opportunities as well. But we'll see with this line here. I think the problem is the Sharks just don't really have anybody else to kind of tweak things here, but we'll see if maybe if Toffoli kind of works his way back up to the second line. That would be my guess, is maybe Toffoli gets back on the second line here soon and Graf on back down to the third line. So Eklund, Wennberg, Graf played neck at 10:36, 8-12 shot attempts, 6-6 actual shots, 0.43 to 0.19 expected goals for, 4-4 scoring chances, 2-1 high danger chances. This line continues to be extremely effective, especially the Eklund Wennberg, where they're so good at those, kind of grinding it out on the boards and kind of, that cycle offense there. But I feel like this line needs that shooter. So I wonder if Graf and Toffoli make the swap here soon to try to give this line a little bit more juice offensively. So that's probably what that's what I would maybe look at if I was Ryan Warsofsky, but again, I'm just an idiot. So Goodrow, Ostapchuk, Reeves played 8:54. They 12-10 shot attempts, 5-1 actual shots, 0.61 to 0.13 expected goals for, 5-3 scoring chances, 3-0 high danger chances. Let me start with Ostapchuk, who I thought was just quietly making great plays all night. Just smart plays on the board, playing hard, great back check at one point, easily, I think, his best game. And I wonder if he's settling into his role with the Sharks of just being one of these bottom six forwards and, is kind of just getting used to it here. So, Reeves was effective, right? Kind of all over the ice, in his limited time, but effective all over the ice tonight. And Goodrow had a monster PK shift in that third period where he had a couple opportunities there to try to maybe get a shorthanded goal. And I think that's where like Goodrow continues to thrive on the PK there. But yeah, this line was quietly effective. They did their job tonight, and I think Zach Ostapchuk had his best game in Teal. Bar very low, I know, but you're trying to build on something here. So, and then Smith, Khrushchev, Celebrini. So they only played 8:36 at 5-on-5 together, but I think one, you can point to the 5 power plays the Sharks had, plus the Sharks were trying to roll their lines here, especially late in the third into the third period here. So, 4-9 shot attempts, 2-4 actual shots, had 1 goal, 0.1 to 0.45 expected goals for, 2-4 scoring chances, and 0-3 high danger chances. So again, like we just spent the first 10 minutes talking about Celebrini. Smith was great tonight, quietly had 2 assists as well. And just that Celebrini Smith chemistry is all over. They're so good together, man. Smith made some really nice defensive. Like one of the things I think from Smith that's really grown this year is his defensive play and making some of these subtle defensive moves. Just kind of like I don't think he's ever going to be like a Selke, like Celebrini type of guy, but I think he's going to be a plus guy in the defensive zone, who's going to again just a lot of just subtle stuff from him. Yeah, I thought he continued to have a good night tonight as well. So defensively, Dickinson, Desharnais led the way Corsi wise with 41.67%. Dickinson, as we talked about, had some moments there, but had some great plays as well. There was a shift, especially where Dickinson, Desharnais were combined together. Had some great looks. I know Desharnais hit the post. Desharnais did he left. I don't know if he got much ice time in the third period. He blocked a shot with his hip, and I don't know if he was feeling 100% after that. So just something to keep an eye on there. Ferraro Mukamadulin. Ferraro had a really strong game tonight. Mukamadulin, like I said, a really kind of up and down game with him. 40.74%. And then Orlov Letty 38.46%. We'll see about that pairing. I don't love these pairing. I don't know how to put the pairings together, but something doesn't quite feel right right there. So, and then for Askarov, who had a little bit of a coming back to earth night tonight, but still had a good night. 25 saves on 27 shots, 2 goals allowed on 209 expected goals against, so still a positive night for him. 926 save percentage with a 191 goals against. It's a 926 save percentage. He gave up 2 goals, and it feels like a coming back to earth night for Askarov. That's just how ridiculous he's been playing as of late. 6 of 7 high danger chances, 6 of 6 mid danger, and then 12 of 13 low danger. So again, Askarov played really well tonight, with the exception of just the one Paterka goal. You can't ask much more from your goalie tonight, on a night in night out basis. But good win for the Sharks. Plenty of things to clean up, so I think that's what makes it good, right? Where you as this team is trying to grow and build off of things, is you celebrate the wins and you look at where you can get better. And I think that's why that's kind of makes this game exciting for the Sharks, and especially their coaching staff, of where can we get better. And because there's plenty of stuff that I think they can work on tonight, as the Sharks, the Kings coming back into town here. The Sharks on a 4-game homestand. So Sharks play the Kings on Thursday night. And then we got the Sens. I'm really looking forward to that Sens game. I think that's going to be a really fun one. So make sure you're following along wherever you get podcasts. And of course, you can watch on YouTube as well. Follow the show on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and on TikTok at Locked On Sharks. Follow me on Twitter and Blue Sky at My Fry Hole. Until tomorrow, bye, friends.